Hello, all. This is Dr. Sakya, a coach by heart. Today, I am going to discuss with you guys about how do we introduce ourselves in different settings in the United States. So, we ready? All right. Let me share with you my PowerPoint. All right. Yeah. So, introducing yourself is something, it sounds very easy, but it's difficult, right? Because when we start to introduce ourselves, like we started to become a little bit nervous, and we feel confused, thinking like, should I share this or, should I not? Right. So I hope this video will give you just like a spot on, few points. And I'm not going to tell you guys anything really new, but I hope this video would be affirming on what you have already known. We ready? Okay. So before starting, let me let me share with you guys a recent story of my mother. I took my mom to the store, and then there was a cashier who, like greeted my mom and then asked her name. And the cashier said, hi, I'm Leah. Nice to meet you. What's your name, Grandma? You know, and then my mom went like, hi, my name is Pragya Devi Sakya, you know, and then Leah became confused, It's like, what? And my mom went on couple of times saying her name. And then I suggested my mom that like, Ma, you can just tell her your first name and then she will get it. So then my mom, said like, okay, I am Pragya. And then in no time, Leah, said my name, my mom's name, called my mom's by her name, like, oh, you're Pragya, and then my mom went like, yeah, I'm Pragya, So it is like, in some context, it's okay to just tell your first name, especially, in a just a informal or casual settings, in a store, if you meet someone, say hi, in the United States, I notice one thing is like people generally smile to each other, show their kindness, which is not very common back home in Nepal. I think in India also, right? We do not say hi or smile at anybody who we have not met before. So, but in the United States, that's the culture of courtesy that like people just smile, say hi, So, well, um, so in those such situation, you need to just tell your name, hi, like for example, now if I ask you like my mom's name is Pragya, who did she met? Do you remember her name? Her name is Leah, right? I know most of you have said like, oh, her name is Leah. Yeah. So if I would have said, like my mom made Leah, Mary, Burnett, then like you will be confused, right? So for just easy recall, saying first name is okay. So in the same store, um, I went to the pharmacy where I had to collect some of my prescribed medications, And whenever I go to the pharmacy, they usually ask me with my last name. What's your last name? That's how they start. And initially I got confused and I unconsciously replied them like, my name is Samjana, and they say like, no, your last name, like, oh, okay, my last name is Sakya, and and then like it just here in the United States, like sometimes they ask you your first name when you're just introducing, but especially when, someone needs to verify your identity, they'll ask you your last name, you know. And just be prepared to spell your name and last name also, because international names are not common in the United States, right? So it's difficult. And do not think that, like, oh, they do not know my name. It's challenging if someone asks you to, like, say that, like, my name is, Elizabeth Alexandria Murray, Vanderbilt. Like, then you will also get confused, right? We need a spelling. So we need to tell them a spelling of our names. But sometimes what happens, um, our accent, makes another person difficult to understand what we are saying. I remember, like, when I say H, they usually go like S or N or something like that. So I will, just try to say my name for you guys, that how do I say, I would say, like, if they ask me, what's your last name? I would say, like, my last name is Sakya. It spells like S, like a Sam, H, like a Henry, A, like an alpha, K, like a kite, Y, like a yellow, A, like an alpha, And when we say that, it is comfortable for them. I don't think there is like a hard and fast rule on like what you're supposed to say. I would rather say the easy things. I still get confused, like, okay, what to say for the K, like kettle or what, and what to say for the J, like jog. Should I say like J, jog? But like the more you get practice, you know what you're supposed to say, you can use just like a formal, names like A, alpha, B, beta, C, Charlie, you can say that, D, delta, you can say that. Or you can just like go for the easy one, like, Y, instead of saying Yankee, you can say like yellow, or J for Jennifer, H for Henry. Something, the main goal is help another person understand what you are saying. It's all about how to clearly communicate well. That also happened, and they also ask like date of birth to verify, um, and generally it's like it goes by like month, day, and year here. Um, but like it's a very sensible personal information. I encourage you guys not to, like disclose it unnecessarily. Okay. So we talked about just like informal, casual, hi, hello context, and then a little bit formal context where you need to share your information. And let's talk about some like, very kind of like formal settings, like communicating with your professors, attending a meeting, and then like sharing about, introducing yourself. So in the United States, the power dynamic between professors and students, bosses and employees, it's a little bit relaxed than what we have experienced in the Southeast Asia, like in Nepal, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. So, in back home in our countries, like we have a, little bit strict power dynamic, and we present ourselves very respectfully to our professors and bosses. But here they are friendly. But this is very important. I want you guys to, like be mindful that like, do not override the boundaries, do not cross the boundaries. If they're saying like you can call me by my name, you can call them by their names, but in a formal setting, like writing emails or the formal meetings when they are with other students, like it's always ideal and wise to call them by their formal name. For example, I call my boss with her first name, but when I write email, when I'm with like, formal meetings, I always call her by like, doctor this. So for me also, I work with my junior colleagues. They are grad students, and I like ask them to call me by my first name. So they call me by my first name, Samjana. And some of them call me very endearingly Momo. Like I have my junior colleague friend. She calls me Momo. But like she, whenever she writes email and in a formal setting, she always goes like Dr. Sakya. So try to understand this nuance, like this is minute difference, and be smart to navigate through it. um, so it's really important, okay? And I have heard the stories from the international students that, like they have unknowingly offended their professors and boss, not knowing. For example, they ask to call you like, you can call me Harry, and then like in a formal meeting, you're calling like, hey, Harry, I mean, it is not appreciated, right? So I don't want you to be the one, especially after watching this video, to offend anyone. Okay. All right. Next is, about introducing yourself formally to someone. In this context, when you are in your, like university meetings and you need to introduce yourself, when you are in a conference and you need to give your quick introduction, in those settings, you have to be brief. I don't recommend to say whole lot about yourself, but just brief. I'll give you an example. Hi, I'm Samjana Sakya. I go by Samjana. Some of my students, they call me Dr. Shakya. So I'm a postdoctoral researcher at the Texas State University, and I'm working on this nutrition project in which we are making a meal delivery application for the older adults. I'm originally from Nepal, but I earned my PhD from the University of Arkansas. And here in Texas, I've been here since last year. Tell me about you. That's it. Don't speak like long, and then do not overshare, which I'll come later. Just be brief. You said what you have to say, and then give another person a chance to express, tell about himself or herself, and listen attentively. Okay, so here are some do's and don'ts I would like to share with you guys. It's like, first, just smile and simple eye contact, but do not stare at them, and then just when you're introducing, quick, brief, clear, and offer a handshake, but another person is not comfortable, it's okay, right? But in India, Nepal, we usually like namaste. We usually do not shake our hands with the opposite sex, right? So it's up to, but here in the United States, I found everybody is perfectly fine shaking the hands, but the hugging and all those things, no, the hugging is saved only for the close people. You do not hug, like anybody random, just like said hi and okay, I'm leaving, bye. You don't do that. And then always listen actively and attentively on their information. And then later on, when you talk, like call by their name, and be polite and respectful, and ask like just open ended questions like, so tell, what about you? It's not like, where do you work? It's not like that. It's like, tell me about you. Then the person will get a chance to tell you about his or her name, where he came from, where does he work, what he works. It's up to that person. And use a positive body language. And usually we do not, like we maintain a distance, and they say like, like just a 1 feet of distance, like a hand, 1 feet of distance, then like keep a little bit, distance from that person. And yeah, just be mindful and cultural differences. That's important. And there are some don'ts, I have noticed that like from in our Nepali culture, we interrupt another person. When another person is saying something, we just like, top it up, and then we say our thing. If two-person are talking, we just top it up our thing, that is not acceptable. It is called very unprofessional here, So like if you have something very urgent to say, you would say like, excuse me, this and that, or you wait, you just join that circle and just wait for your opportunity. And then do not overshare your personal information, like, yeah, this happened, that happened, I'm sad, and then this, or I achieved this, I'm a topper, you don't need to tell that. Just like be humble, modest, and limited sharing. Less is more, in the introduction. And do not talk about the controversial or negative topics like the politics, this and that. We shall talk about more about it in some other videos, but like there are some sensitive topics you suppose not to talk about, like which politics party do you feel? What do you think about Biden? What do you think about Trump? This person is good, that person is bad. You suppose not to talk about those. Rather, talk about the safe topics like what's the weather? How's the weather? Oh, it's hot today, right? It's a nice weather. And then you may talk about the pet animals. Do you have a pet animal? You like cat? Are you a dog person or a cat person? Something like that. And do not look distracted when another person is talking to you, like looking over the ceiling, looking here and there. And one person is talking to you and you're trying to, get connected with another person. Don't do that. Do not force, handshaking or just like hugging or physical touch. You don't do that. And, just like, yeah. And then when you're having conversation, make sure that both of you guys are talking, and then do not use jokes and humors in an uncomfortable situation, that is not very much welcome. So, well, that's it for today. And I encourage you to tell me about you. Who are you? Where are you watching from? Tell me about you. Would you mind just writing a brief about your, in the comments? Like, who are you? Where are you watching from? How do you like my videos? What do you do? And then last but not least, I request you all to please subscribe my channel, share this channel to someone who may find it very useful. Yeah, um, I would say that's it, my friends. I do not have a whole lot thing to share with you guys today. I hope you guys are enjoying my video and give me comments, feedback, and help me grow my YouTube channel in a way that I'm serving the purposes of you guys. Okay, so bye for now. I will see you guys later. Bye bye.